everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Reel. We have got a special guest tonight, Mr. Justin Maples. He is heading up the newest tournament series in town, at least one of them, the Kayak Night Tournament Series. It is the first of its kind, at least in this area that I know about. So this is going to be an opportunity for you guys to come out and fish some kayak events at night. So the first night experience I've ever had was with this man out on El Dorado Lake. Not the most successful evening of fishing, but it was a pretty cool experience and kind of motivated me to get out there and try some of these tournaments with him. He's got some experience fishing these type of tournaments out of a big boat out in the Ozarks area next door to Missouri, next door to us in Missouri, rather. And so he's going to come on here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to take questions. So if you guys come up with any questions along the way, if you're new to night fishing, if you're new to kayak fishing, if you've got questions about, the time of year that these events are being held or the lakes that they're being held on, we should have answers to most of those questions. So make sure you put those over there in the live comment feed over there. It looks like we've already got some guys popping off over there in the comment section of section here, and it looks like I may have been. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to try to fix that and Justin on, and we will continue with the podcast. That should have cleared it up, guys. I apologize. I forgot to switch over to my Wi-Fi booster, so we should be good now. All right. Again, if you didn't hear that, put all the comments over there in the live stream. We will get to those as we go through this podcast here. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. Hey, what's up, Justin?
What's going on, John?
Hey, man. Sorry, I might have kind of faded in and out there. But, yeah, so just the folks at home, if they don't already know you, you maybe give them an introduction of yourself and maybe some of your experience with the whole night fishing theme.
Yeah, I'm Justin Maples. I live here at Augusta, Kansas. I haven't always lived in Augusta. I'm actually from Southwest Missouri, over between Springfield and Branson. Grew up over there, outdoors family, really. My dad, he done a lot of crappie fishing. That's what I grew up doing was fishing for crappie. Dad had a 14-foot V bottom, and of course we didn't have electronics on the boat or anything like that. We just pretty much, Dad knew where there was a bunch of brush piles at, and we'd go out and we'd catch crappie, and we'd catch them on a minnow and a bobber. And I've always loved to fish. Best part about fishing for me was you could get good at something, didn't matter what it was, but when it come to fishing, I mean, you could practice and go out and you might not catch them. So I've always been really competitive. And so whenever I got to getting into fishing with my friends and stuff, it was always, I wanted to catch more fish than them. We wasn't bass fishing though. When I was a kid, like I said, we crappie fished, and during the spring we'd go white bass fishing when they'd run up the rivers, and so I done that till I was early teenager, and my brother, he actually bought, I think, like a 1980 Ranger, and at the time, I mean, I thought it was a awesome bass boat, and it was for the time, that's all we had. And so we kind of got to doing a little bit of bass fishing here and there, and the whole time growing up, whenever I started bass fishing, I thought the only time you could do it was of a night. I mean, we would go on Friday nights and leave right before dark, and we'd put the boat in the water while it was still daylight, and we would get over and start fishing a bank, and we would fish all night long, and I don't know. I always thought it was a real good time. And then my brother come up with a black light, and he kept talking about how much fun it was to fish with this black light. So I was like, I didn't know what to think, and I got out there and you could see your line glowing. And so, we got to fishing with that black light, and, it just kind of evolved from there. I don't know. I got out of fishing for a while just because I was rodeoing and stuff, and just didn't really have time to go. And probably 12, 13 years ago, I went to work for my cousin, and my cousin's a really good bass fisherman, really good night fisherman. One of the best on Table Rock. And when I went to work for him, he decided that he needed a partner the first week I worked for him for one of these tournaments. And I'd never fished a tournament in my life. But I decided, I'll go with you. And we went down there and just sacked them up. And I thought, man, that's the way to do it right there. I didn't think I'd ever have another bad day of my life, And so we ended up, that was like on a Tuesday night tournament. We ended up going back on Wednesday night, and I don't even think we caught a fish all night, and so that goes back to, the being intrigued by fishing. I was with from what I thought was the best night angler on Table Rock, and we never even caught a fish. So, it just, the tournament fishing kind of kicked off from there for me. I fished with him for a few months there, and then I ended up moving out here to Kansas. And man, I tell you, when I got to Kansas, it was a total different ball game. I grew up, like I said, on Table Rock Lake, and now I'm trying to turn El Dorado Lake into Table Rock, and it just wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
definitely some differences between El Dorado and Table Rock.
Oh, there's a lot of difference. So go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I was just gonna bring up, and my internet's being funny. So hopefully we don't have any more connection issues. I think I took care of that. But I think you might have your schedule pulled up. So for the people that might not be aware of what lakes are going to be on the schedule for this season, what is event number 1? Do you have that info in front of you there?
Event number 1 is going to be Table Rock Lake on April the 2nd.
Okay.
So it's a Saturday night. Yep. I've actually got, my brother's bringing down a great big smoker. He's got a big smoker he's bringing, and we've got some meat that the people at Packer Meat Company, they're going to give it to us at cost. So we're gonna grill burgers. We're gonna cook some brats. Just kind of have some good time and fellowship before the tournament. Kind of anybody that needs to know the rules or more about the rules or got any questions, we're going to take them, and
or if they're just hungry,
or if you're just hungry, yeah. And we're actually gonna have where we can launch at 7:00 that night, and lines in at 7:30, and I'm gonna do lines out at 1:30 in the morning, and got to be standing in line with your phone so we can look at your fish by 2:00.
Okay.
Yep.
So you did mention before we went live here, this is going to be a Roadrunner event, but no
Yeah.
matter where you decide to launch on the lake, you do need to be back and checked in by 2 o'clock.
Yes. Yes. So I mean,
So
there's a lot. We're gonna actually we're actually gonna be right there at Ants Creek. So if you
I've
know,
been there before.
you bet we were there last month, huh? So
My,
we're gonna be at Ants Creek. We're gonna you guys can go wherever you want to go, as far as on the lake, as long as it's a public access. And we just need to have lines out and be back to for me to check your fish at 2 o'clock.
I'm curious because I'm from Kansas and I'm stubborn and I don't like to drive over there and fish all those good fisheries you have in the Ozarks. So how does Table Rock fish early April?
It that tournament to me, I think is going to be our best tournament as far as catching numbers. They if you look at the Big Bass Tour that Kevin Van Dam puts on, it's the very next weekend on Table Rock, and that's not a coincidence. I mean, they catch a lot of fish that time of year on Table Rock.
Okay. Heck yeah. Yeah, and night wise, I mean, because it's still early on in the year, but those fish, you know, you mentioned earlier that you're kind of targeting the same areas and whatnot. How does that? And I don't want you to give all your secrets away, but for some of us guys that are, not as familiar with this approach, how does that change once the lights go down?
Well, in my mind, when you take off on a day tournament and the sun's not out yet, and you're targeting those fish, say with a topwater bait right up there against the bank, and you know, later on in the morning, that sun starts coming out, and those fish that are on the bank, a lot of times will move into that shade cover. Of a nighttime, those fish they're gonna stay up there. There's always going to be deep fish. I mean, don't
Yeah,
I'm not saying that, but those fish that are shallow, a lot of times they're going to stay up there in those shallows, and they're going to be hunting around. Um, targeting you're to me, you're going to be targeting the same thing of a night as you are of a day. You're going to be fishing points, you're going to be fishing boat docks, brush piles, um, bluff ends, big cuts, everything that you're fishing of a day, you're fishing of a night. The only difference is it's dark.
sure. Okay. All right. Well, we got a question here from one of our friends, Daniel Maffei, also known as Danny. He has been on the show. If you guys haven't checked out that episode, make sure you go check it out. I believe he was on the show for winning the SECA championship, if I am not
I
mistaken.
think you're
But
right.
yeah, he's a hammer for sure. He's a big fish magnet, and I imagine he could probably call those big fish in at night as well. I don't know. We'll have to
I bet
see
you
if
can.
he's ready to take us up on that challenge. But he wants to know how much the entry fees are.
All right. So what I'm going to do is $36 entry fees, $10 for big bass, and three of that will go straight to Angler of the Year, just like we do in Air Capital, and three of that will go to the club. So there's a 83% payback.
Okay.
Yep.
Heck yeah. I like it. Okay. And you also did mention about doing a team deal.
So what I was thinking about this team deal is not for a team championship or anything like that to where I
Yeah.
keep track of it, but we are going to be out there of a night, so um, I think it would be better. I mean, it's not required, but I think it would be better, if you were fishing with somebody. And so I'm thinking, like a $20 per team, winner take all, at each event.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not gonna be much, but hey, there's there's a little bit more incentive. I like winning money, and I think everybody that fishes with us does too. So,
And
I,
then is this a 5 fish limit?
5 fish limit, yes.
So the team would be 10, best 10 or best 5?
I'll put it out there on the page and see what you guys think. Do you want to do best 5? Or best 10, or best 5, 3 and 2, or how I'll put it
Yeah.
out there for you guys to decide.
Yeah. If you guys over there in the comment section have an opinion on, how you would prefer that to go, make sure you comment over there. Okay. So we're talking Table Rock. You said April 2nd, and my internet connection is really just bugging. What's number 2?
Number 2 is Wilson Reservoir here in Kansas.
I like
May
that one.
May 21st.
Okay, that's a real good time.
Yeah, I think Wilson. I've not fished a lot of lakes in Kansas, but when I went to Wilson Lake, I called you the day after I practiced up there back in May, and told you that was the closest lake I had come to fishing in Kansas to Table Rock.
Yeah.
That it's clear water. I mean, I fished it. I fished it in practice the same way that I fished at Table Rock, and the next day wasn't worth a damn. So, but in practice, it worked. It worked great.
Yeah, so for you Missouri guys, that are used to fishing those type of conditions, and you don't want to come fish in Kansas because all we have is a bunch of mud holes. That's the exception right there. We've got Wilson Lake, Wilson Reservoir, and it is clear, about as clear as you'll get. It is as clear as you'll get here. 6+ foot of visibility at times. Lots of rock, lots of grass. Pretty sweet place. Just ask old casual bass guy over there how he likes that place. Smallmouth, largemouth. I'm sure they have spots as well. They've got docks, they've got bluff walls, they've got all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So that's one that is definitely on my list to fish more next year. That is also one that we'll be fishing in the Kansas Kayak Angler Series as well. The Kansas Bass Nation Kayak Series is going to be fishing over there as well. So if you guys want an opportunity to maybe do some pre-fishing for some of these other events, or, maybe you've collected some info in these other events and want to use them here, this would be a good opportunity for you. Wilson's one of my favorites. It's become one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
And for a long time, people didn't want to go fish Wilson. The kayak guys did not want to go fish Wilson. We went and fished there in like 2017, I believe. We had like 20 guys there, and we had like 2 limit. No, we had 1 limit because I took second with 4 fish, and everybody just did horrible. And I think the general consensus was that just the lake sucked. But as the years went by, we noticed that these big boat tournaments were turning in good limits and stuff. So we started going back and realized that maybe it had been good all along. We were just there the wrong day.
Yeah. I think that time of year, I think that time of year, May 21st, I think it's going to be on fire.
Yeah. Just ask Jay Schwarzkopf about that lake.
Yeah.
But so when I think of night tournaments, I'm thinking of using, like maybe chatter baits or spinner bait, something that is going to give off a lot of vibration, because these fish are, I'm assuming, not really feeding off of sight, maybe some of that is coming off a field. Is there any truth to that?
I think so. I think that, I look at, um, one old guy over there that fishes a lot of night tournaments and has since way back in the 70s, and he's still going over there and kicking everybody's butt at Table Rock. You know, he threw he'll throw a single spin spinner bait, and he'll throw it all night long. And I'm pretty sure he uses a black spinner bait, but I mean, um, I've caught him over there on a single spin. I've caught him over there on chatterbaits of a night. My favorite of all is throwing a jig. Throwing a football jig. But I've heard of people catching them on crankbaits. I've never used crankbait of a night, but I've got a real good friend that goes over there and fishes a lot of night tournaments, and he catches them on crankbait, deep diving crankbaits, rock crawlers. It just about what you could throw of a day. I mean, I've caught them on wacky rigs in the middle of the night. Anything, anything that I can throw of a day, buzz bait, whopper plopper. I've never thrown anything that big, John. Hell, most of my fish ain't that big.
This is big. This is a pretty cool glide bait. I've never actually thrown it, but it is. It's big. You can see it's pretty big.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to throw it if I had confidence in it.
CBG's saying he's going to dead stick a Ned rig all night. I mean, I'm sure he'd get bit.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh yeah. And that's like whenever I first started talking to you, I was talking about catching. I don't know. I caught a fish over at Timber Creek, and like 16, 18 foot of water with a football jig, and you was like, man, I would never throw one that deep. That.
Yeah.
Shoot, we throw them jigs, in the middle of the night over there, or middle of the day, whatever, at Table Rock. As long as the thermocline, hasn't set up. I mean, we can throw them 40, 50 foot deep. So I think that Ned rig would tear them up, especially if CBG's throwing them.
He's a finesse guy. He just seems to. That's probably what he ought to do. He probably ought to just stick with his game plan, and it'd probably work out for him.
Oh yeah, I've seen it work out for him.
Drop shotting stuff. Stuff like that. Little Ned rig, shaky head. J Flesh Bassin wants to know who makes the gill glide. I believe that one is a dock rat. Dock rat? Something like that? Dock rats? I don't know. Edwin, if you're watching, I know you know who makes this, so comment in the comment section so I can tell this guy who makes that bait. I don't recall. I think it's a dock rat. I got it on a trade. But, okay, so we're going to Wilson, and then let me see. Are we going back over to Missouri after that?
Yeah, going back to Missouri to Stockton Lake, June 4th. And I think Stockton's gonna fish really well too. Me and Stoney, we were getting ready to head to Stockton this weekend. I think that Stockton is one lake in Missouri that gets overlooked.
Yeah.
I was talking to a buddy of mine yesterday that fishes a lot of the Joe Bass tournaments and the Ozark Mountain Team tournaments, and he was telling me that one of his competitors had sent him some pictures just yesterday of a couple 6-pounders or one 6-pounder and maybe a 4 and 3 or 4 3-pounders. So Yeah, I think
Heck yeah.
Stockton's going to be a really good lake too. And one thing we haven't talked about is on the Angler of the Year for this night tournament series. That
Yeah.
Angler of the Year is going to go off of 4 events. So there's 3 events in Missouri, and there's 3 in Kansas. And I done that on purpose because I would like for some of the Missouri guys to come over here and fish one of our deals.
Yeah.
In Kansas, and I would like for you guys that are from Kansas to come over to Missouri.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do for AOI. Try to get people to come to as many events as you can without turning them off to fish in the series altogether by maybe making them all, requiring them to go to all of them. So you've got a
Yeah.
couple, opportunities to, get your honeydew list done or whatever if you need to. Um, but if we get quite a few guys fishing this series, like, we've seen quite a bit of interest in this. I think there's a lot of people in Kansas that have been interested in this concept for a long time. That just, they don't do it. I never did. I've talked about it for years, and it took meeting you for me to actually go out there and do it. They had a night tournament years and years ago, back in like 2016 or something, out on Banner Creek. That's the only one that I know of. It was a single event, and I think quite a few people showed up to that. So I think that you'll see a lot of Kansas guys have the opportunity to take advantage of this. But yeah, fish in the waters around here, and then also this is an opportunity for you to go fish possibly some new lakes over in Missouri as well.
You bet.
Casual Bass Guy wants to know, are you going to upgrade your boat after all, or are you sticking with the Passport?
Man, just like I told you, when I bought that boat, the only thing I needed that boat didn't have was reverse, and I put that reverse on there, and I have no intentions of upgrading. I hope my wife's not listening, because I might want to upgrade, but no, I have no intentions of upgrading. Now that I have the reverse on there.
Yeah, your Passport is probably the most rigged out Passport I've seen. You've got power pole, micro anchor, you've got lights. So if you guys saw the thumbnail on this video, you'll see his and my kayak, and we both have lights setups on it. Mine aren't actually night fishing lights, but the purple ones you see on his kayak, those are. And so those are what, correct me if I'm wrong, what allow you to view your line at night?
Yes. Yeah. So they're UV lights, they're black lights, and if you some guys don't want to use them. It's totally preference for me. I know most people that fish night tournaments use the black lights, and I've got some line here that I can show you. So like this, it's big game, trilene big game. I think I was telling John earlier, I think it's like $6 or $7 for 660 yards. That light is fluorescent, or that line is fluorescent. So when you throw out, whether you're fishing a jig or a spinner bait or whatever, you can see your line. And, like a lot of times when you're fishing, throwing that jackhammer, them big fish will come up from behind it and swoop it up, and your line goes limp. Well, if you can't see your line, I mean, a lot of times you'll miss that bite, and I don't know. I'm a fan of the black light for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some other line that I use, that trilene, it's a green line. that I was just showing you. So I don't use that of a daytime. So the line that I use that I'm going to fish day and night is the P line. It's the CX. It's clear fluorescent. It's the copolymer fluorocarbon coated. Really good line, and I use it, when I'm fishing my day tournaments, and if I ever need to, if I'm ever out before daylight, some of our tournaments start before the sun comes up. I turn my black lights on where I can see my line.
Okay, heck yeah.
Yeah. But to answer your question, no, I'm not planning on getting rid of my passport.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got I know you got a Lowrance graph. I think you got, is it like a hook model or something with side imaging
It's just
maybe?
the Hook 7. Yeah, it's just got down imaging on it.
Down. Okay.
Yep.
And then you've got the light set up, you've got added the reverse and all that. So yeah, yours is pretty tacked out. CBG wants to know, what's the favorite part of your boat? What's your favorite part of that kayak?
I don't have to have a partner. No.
There you go.
My favorite part now is the reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got to be my favorite part.
Was it as big of a deal as you thought it would be?
No, I watched a YouTube video on how to change just the regular 180 or the regular Mirage drive over to a 180, and when you pull it apart, I think there's 26 or 28 needle bearings that go on that shaft, and all you got to do is pull that apart and grease that shaft and stand them needle bearings back up. It's an hour and a half long job. It's not that bad, really.
Well worth the work and the money.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, so CBG says, shout out to Maples for talking me into going to Truman. Didn't know I would love the Ozarks that much. Heck yeah. So I think that was the All-American, maybe?
The All-American. I talked Ivan into going. I had a line on a really good spot, and we got over there, and he ended up catching them, and I had one of the worst days I've ever had on the water. But I'm glad that Ivan went for sure. He ended up getting in them that day for sure. And if you can guess, he done it with a spinning reel.
Oh yeah, I would assume so.
Oh yeah, I would sit there and watched him.
Okay, so was it Stockton was the last place we talked about?
Stockton, yes, June 4th. And then we go July 9th to Perry Lake here in Kansas.
Yeah.
I've never been on that lake in my life. I would have to look it up on a map to even know where it's at.
Fun fact, I grew up just down the road from Perry Lake. If you guys know the area, if you know the Dam Store, I lived right up the hill. I know you know what I'm talking about, people out there. The Dam Store. Anyways, carry on.
So I've got a partner then for Perry Lake. Yeah. Good job, John. No, I've never been there.
Fishing the docks.
Yeah. I'll be right behind you. But, I'd never been there, and I put out a list of a few lakes in Kansas, and a couple guys said Perry, and I'm not doing this deal for me. I'm doing it for all of us. So that's what a few guys put on that page. Let's go to Perry. So that's where we're going to go.
I don't
I
think
hope.
it's a bad choice. I think that especially based off of some of the results, some of the catches and stuff that we saw last year with, I think it was NECA that fished there, Flint Hills, or both of them, I think might have fished there last year. But Big Smalley's in there too.
Sweet. Them Smallies will eat of a night too.
Heck yeah. Dennis says, don't get distracted by the crappie at Perry.
Dennis, he's a good friend of mine. So he was actually one of my students going through the machining program at WSU Tech, and me and him got to talking about fishing for crappie, and he showed me up 2 or 3 times. About every time we go, he shows me up. He's a crappie fishing son of a gun. He needs to get a kayak and start bass fishing so I can kick his ass.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think you just got called out, Dennis.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what is Danny saying over here? He says, I went to the dam to get some dam water. The dam keeper said I couldn't have any dam water, so I told the dam keeper to keep his dam water. All right, he's over there drinking that Seagram's tonight.
I think so.
That's his problem. He told me his secret sauce. That was the Seagram's. He says, heck yeah, Perry will rock.
Danny killed a big buck this year too. He sent me a picture of it.
Yeah. I don't think I posted the comment for you guys to see live, but he did say something about deer hunting. Yep. Yeah, Perry's a party lake. Maybe that's why he's
gonna party.
Yeah, he's gonna go party.
Fish till 1:30 and drink till daylight. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that? Like, are we, and of course everybody's free to do what they want, but I mean, if I'm out at the lake at 2:00 in the morning, I'm probably just going to have a tent, set up and just go to bed.
You bet. And that's a lot of times, especially like during the fish offs over at Table Rock, whenever we would have the 2-night events, in the for the bass boats, everybody would camp out, and they a lot of them would start grilling at 2:00 in the morning after it was over, and they'd sit around and drink and eat steak and set up and shoot the crap until daylight.
I like it.
I think everywhere we're going, is going to have campground right there next to it. So, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll have a little camaraderie before and after.
You bet. Like, and that's one thing. Going to fishing them night tournaments, like I said earlier, I spent so much time fishing of a night, and never fished a tournament during the day till way up in life, and everybody's just standing around. They tournament starts at 7:30, and everybody at 6:00 is just standing around shooting the crap and really visiting and having a good time. Nobody has to get out of there and go home because the tournament hadn't even started. So it's a different group of guys. Or you learn more about the guys you're fishing with than you do when you show up at daylight. Everybody's trying to get all their stuff ready, and then whenever it's over, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Dennis is thinking about it. He just might join us.
That'd be awesome.
CBG wants to know if there's going to be a championship event.
I'm not going to have one this year. I'm not just going to have the straight up 4. Will count towards the Angler of the Year. If that's something you guys are interested in, I'm not against that at all. I just the first thing that come into my head was, if we're going to have a championship, we'll have it on an Oklahoma lake or something. I mean, maybe one year have it in Missouri, one year have it in Kansas. That'd be something that I'd put out there on a poll for you guys to decide. But yeah, I'm not against having a championship. I won't have one this year, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think an Oklahoma lake that would be kind of cool. Or like you say, alternate between states. Either way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where's the next place? So after Perry, we're going back to Missouri. Are you kind of alternating?
Yeah. Go to Bull Shoals.
Okay.
So Bull Shoals Lake is there's a ton of miles. You can. I've got a buddy of mine that lives on Bull Shoals, and where we're having that tournament is over at Theodosia, Missouri. And if I talked to my buddy that lives on Bull Shoals, and I'm trying to talk him in, because he's a dang good night fisherman, and I'm trying to talk him into just getting in a kayak and fishing it. I said, "How far are you from Theodosia?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour." So I mean, that lake is a long lake, but there's a lot of good fish in Bull Shoals. I mean, a lot of spots, a lot of largemouth, smallmouth. It's a really good lake.
Heck
But
yeah.
I think having it's August 20th. All right, so I mean,
Okay.
I think that'd be a good one to go to. The last one is Big Hill, right here in Kansas. It's September the 17th. Them Southeast Kansas boys, they know where to find them fish over there. I had my limit this year at Big Hill within, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, and I didn't even finish in the middle of the pack. I mean, them guys put it on me over there.
Yeah, I think at one of the events over there, the one that Kevin Kerr won, it was like 94 inches or something stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I had 71.
It might have been 95. It was nuts. Whatever it was.
I think I had 71 in my first 5 fish. I mean, I don't think I even upgraded.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's
you did mention that we're going to be scoring fish on our phone. So we're not using any app. We're not using Tourney X or Fishing Chaos. Is that right?
I'm not going to use it this year.
Okay.
No, I want to see what kind of turnout we get. Hopefully, it's. I hope that we get a big enough turnout that scoring them on the phone is going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
that's my goal. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense if there's not a whole lot of people, but if hopefully that's what we do. So you guys, if you're watching this right now, if you're interested in night fishing, make sure you come out, support this group. It's something that I think is going to be a big hit. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of big fish are going to get caught. And, something that we talked about recently on a podcast with Marshall Arnwine, also known as the Homeless Fisherman. Check that podcast out if you haven't already. Dude's a hammer. He's primarily a swim bait guy, big bait guy. He said he likes to fish at night. He feels like there is, a lot of fish out there that are only feeding at night. And you really are not going to find opportunities to catch some of these fish, not all of them, but some of these fish are not catchable during the daylight. So, you know, if that logic rings true, which I'm sure to some degree it does, you're going to catch fish that you never would have caught otherwise.
I agree with that. And I think a lot of times, them fish, they get pressured of a daytime.
Yeah.
Especially on these lakes that are well known for bass, they're getting pressured of a daytime, and
Yeah.
you get out there of a night and you find fish. I'm not going to say you're going to catch bigger fish. I'm just saying you're catching fish that, like he said, are not feeding during the daytime.
Yeah, you're going to have a better opportunity to trick those fish because, the fish that are doing that are doing it because they've learned over time that, they're not having to defend themselves as much, right? And so where he's doing it at, he's doing it in Austin, Texas. He's doing it in, the big city like urban, where this place is getting beat up all the time. Real heavy pressure from swim bait guys. What do they call it? Town Lake. There's Ladybird Lake. There's a couple different names for it, but it's become a destination. And so he said a lot of these fish have just learned over time. And so he started targeting some of those fish at night and has been successful doing it. So something that I just completely forgot about. It just popped into my head. So kind of cool to think about. Is Bull Shoals Beaver Lake? Is that the same tributary?
It's on the same river chain. So you got Beaver Lake up here, and then you got Table Rock, and then you got Bull Shoals. So Bull Shoals is on the other end of Beaver. So it's on the other end of Table Rock.
Table Rock. Okay.
So yeah.
So it goes. I guess I don't know how this works, but Taneycomo comes.
So you've got Beaver Lake up here or over here in Arkansas, and then it wraps up to Table Rock, which is in Missouri, and Table Rock dumps out into Taneycomo, and then Taneycomo feeds right into Bull Shoals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're learning stuff. CBG says he loves Big Hill, but them boys own that lake.
They do.
They do.
I agree.
They do.
I'm ready to get over there of a night and see what it's like of a night,
Yep. Can you tell us some tips for night fishing, or maybe some rules that, are the rules any different than fishing in the day?
One thing, the main rule that I cannot stress enough is safety. We're going to be out there of a night. Okay. We have to have a 360 light when we're fishing during the day. You have got to have that 360 light while we're out there of a night. If you hear, if you're out there on a lake and you hear a boat coming, turn that light on, no matter if you can see that boat or not, turn that light on, let them people know you're there. One thing that
light should be on. That light should not be off. Just don't ever turn that light off.
Yeah. And, I don't have, I don't have a trolling motor, but since I'm going to do the night deals, I put the red and green lights on the front of my boat, the navigation lights, just for extra safety. That's probably
a good time to flip those things on. Like your 360 light should always be on. If it is, if the sun has gone down, whether it's morning or night, your 360 light has to be on. But if you hear a boat or something, then if you have some other sort of lights or a flashlight or a cell phone, make yourself visible.
You bet. And, that I can't tell you, don't cross the lake here or there, but if you're fishing, plan your fishing out. Are you going to fish, down one side of a cove and come out of the other side? Plan that out where you're thinking about going next. That way
Yeah.
you're not crossing that lake. Um, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to cross the lake. I mean, everybody's going to fish where they want to fish, but try to plan it out to where you may not be crossing in the biggest part of that cove or in the biggest part of that lake. Me and John was down at Ants Creek the other day. You've seen how big Ants Creek is, and all that is a cove.
Yeah.
You go to cross that lake, you're an eighth of a mile getting across that lake or across that cove. you know. So that'd be my tips for safety for sure. Is kind of plan out where you're going to go, and where you're going to cross.
I would
As far,
say, just
go
I'm
ahead.
going to interrupt you. I would say something that I noticed, if you've never fished at night, right? If this one of these tournaments is your first time ever doing it, the if you have the idea that there's not going to be boat traffic, there will be. Maybe
Yeah,
not so much April 1st, but as you get into the warmer months, when we were out on El Dorado, I was surprised. I was surprised there was a lot of boat traffic, and on these bigger lakes like Table Rock and stuff, there's going to be way more. But
yep,
um, so when you're planning, like he's saying, when you're planning this out, expect for there to be big party boats and stuff and music blaring, and it was kind of a cool atmosphere out there at El Dorado that night. I thought, I was like, man, this is pretty cool. Like, I want to just come out here and hang out sometime.
that's kind of what you did, wasn't it?
Hey, I caught a walleye on pretty much top water, or on
Oh yeah,
like in a foot of water. So that was cool.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
And they,
So
like you were saying, that thing was up on it was dang near in the dirt.
you bet. But you got to think about it when you're out there of a night at midnight or 12:30. What would you be doing if you were on a party boat? You're probably not sitting around reading the Bible. They're probably gonna be some drunks out. So that's
Yeah.
kind of why I want to put in place that that winner take all team deal. That way everybody, like I said, it's not required, but maybe they'll find somebody to fish with.
Yeah. Yeah. Just kind of keep each other safe, keep an eye on each other.
You bet.
How many do you expect? I know we really don't know what to expect, but what do you think? I mean, based off of some of the conversations you've had, is there a pretty good group of guys over there in Missouri um, that are going to be competing? And then what do you think about the guys over here in Kansas?
I'm thinking, I'd be safe to say that I'm hoping, to get 20, 25 people. I
Yeah.
would love to get a lot more than that, but I mean, being realistic, you know, maybe 20, 25 people. Um,
And I think maybe
like I
the
said,
team thing might
I'd
help
love to have
get more
more.
people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That might
Yep.
help, get more people there if, somebody's going and they're like, oh, I need a teammate, somebody to come with me. That might get some more interest involved there.
You bet.
And it looks like the KKA stuff, we've got quite a few memberships rolling in right now for the Kansas Kayak Anglers. So, we'll be able to probably bring a lot of those guys over and fish some of these tournaments as well. I've seen a lot of new names paying for memberships this year.
Heck yeah.
So
Yep.
pretty excited about that.
I had a lot of likes on I put out there that the year end or the angler of the year, I'm going to give away that trophy belt buckle. I had a lot of likes on that, and I had a lot of people talking about it. So I don't know, I don't know if that will draw you guys in or what else, but I thought it was pretty cool. I've won buckles in rodeos before, but I've never won one for fishing for sure. And
I just want to beat you at your own game. That's the only reason I'm doing this.
That's cool. I wish that I hope that about 28 or 30 more people say the same thing.
And then after I win the belt buckle, I'm going to wear it with some like flip flops or something.
There you go. I wouldn't expect any different.
Danny wants to know, is the full schedule up on Facebook? It is.
Yes. It's on the Kayak Night Tournament Series page.
Yep. Go over there. If you guys haven't already, give it a like. Stay tuned. Plan out your days off and stuff accordingly. So I think there was one maybe conflict with an event that we talked about, but I think that what we're going to try to do is maybe just caravan from one tournament on over to the other.
You bet.
So I think that was a Wilson event. Is that right?
Wilson event. So El Dorado was that morning. Wilson's that night, Yeah. I think we're going to have a great group of guys at El Dorado, and might as well carry it on, right on over to Wilson.
Ryan Brook is not allowed to fish the El Dorado event. Just putting that out there.
I don't know that I'm going to allow Ryan Brook to fish any of the night events.
He's a spinnerbait guy. He just might put it on you.
I'm telling you, that dude, he's a hammer, know.
Yep. But no, I think the El Dorado event, I think that one might surprise some people. Depending on how things go, we just might have to do a night tournament out there next year or something. But I think that'll be a cool event. We can get a bunch of the guys together, maybe camp out there, make a whole weekend out of it, and just camp out at Wilson the next night, and then we can all get up and go fish Wilson the next day. I mean, let's do it.
Yeah. Heck yeah, have a jackpot the next day.
Something. But heck yeah, Wilson's definitely going to end up out at Wilson quite a bit this year. Danny says he thinks the belt buckle will look good with his Crocs.
Oh, I think so too. And he chose Copenhagen, so what? I mean, he might as well have a belt buckle, Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'd love to see Danny at them events.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I don't think I would. I don't think I would love it.
Well, I need a partner.
Yeah, well, yeah, he'd be a good one to have.
That's right.
I know. You grabbed him up real quick. You didn't ask me.
Well, you can be my partner at Perry. You said you knew Perry pretty well.
Oh, I don't. I don't know it at all. I just said I grew up there.
Oh, okay.
If you've watched any of my other podcasts, you would know that I didn't grow up fishing.
There you go. That's right.
But no, we really didn't. My dad had a pontoon boat. We'd go out in the middle of the lake and we'd anchor down and we'd swim.
Yeah.
That was about it. And then at the, I think it was called DJ's Marina, we'd go feed the carp. There's a bunch of carp there and you'd feed them.
Huh.
I probably never caught a fish on Perry in my entire life.
Really? Well, that'll change.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think I think that's a good one to have on the schedule. And we'll be there for KKA as well, the Kansas Kayak Angler. So a lot of these, like we said earlier, a lot of these events, you're going to kind of be able to do some double dipping. You can fish these events and you'll be able to gain some knowledge for these other events in these other series, just like this one.
Yeah, I think all three of the Kansas night events are on your schedule.
Perry, Wilson, and what was the other one? Did we talk about that one yet?
Big Hill.
Yep. They are. So, no, I think that'll be good. Those have all been good producers for sure. And I'm excited about the Ozarks Lakes the most myself. It'll give me a good excuse to go over there. I know it's a bit of a haul for us Kansas guys, but I think it's important that we kind of show the Missouri guys that we're willing to go fish on their turf, and that'd probably make them, a little bit more willing to return the favor.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do. Because there are some hammers over there in Missouri too. So I mean, I think it'd be cool to, maybe in the future have, a fish off, between the top 10 of the Kansas guys and top 10 of the Missouri guy,
We'll
or
we'll
something.
Yeah, we'll certainly be keeping track. I mean, we'll be talking some smack at the ramps to the Missouri guys for sure.
Oh yeah.
And you're a
Yeah.
Kansas guy, whether you like it or not. And I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm here. I'm here from now on. This is where I live.
Yeah, you're gonna feel torn. You're gonna just be standing in the middle, like, what do I do?
Oh yeah. Nobody thinks I'm from Missouri anyway.
Nobody claims you.
I got a Kansas accent.
I don't. Do you?
No, not at all.
You sound about as hillbilly as they get to me.
That's redneck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are hillbillies over there in Missouri.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm not there.
But man, if I could move anywhere in the country that wasn't south, it would be Missouri for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful country over there. So definitely looking forward to getting over there and doing some night fishing with you this year. And if you guys, again, if you're interested in getting involved, go over on Facebook and check out Kayak Night Tournament Series, and you'll be able to see the schedule there. And then are you doing like some registrations and stuff like that, or are you just doing entry fees?
Well, I was going to do a $20 membership.
Okay.
So what I'll probably do, guys, is I'll probably just take that at the ramp, at our first event, and same with the entry fees. It'll be, I'm going to do it just like you did Air Capital. Half of it will go to the club, and half of it will go to the Angler of the Year. Yeah. So I really want to build up an Angler of the Year pot, just to make people want to do it, make it worthwhile,
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Oh yeah. And if you guys want to come over and fish one and decide that ain't what, you don't have to pay your membership to fish one, but you do have to pay your membership to earn Angler of the Year points. But I've got a list of the rules, and I'll post those on the page so everybody can see them. They're the same rules that we have in Air Capital, when whatever, but I don't want there to be any surprises, so they'll be there. And if you guys want to talk about any, what black lights I use or where to get good black lights or whatever, hit me up. Anything about the fluorescent line, whatever, just hit me up on Facebook, or if you've got my number, call me, whatever, and I'll talk about fishing till I'm blue in the face. So
heck yeah. All right. Well, do you have anything else that you want to touch on before we sign off on here? Or we'll probably bring you on again before the first event, and try to get some more information out there as it becomes available. I see that sweet hoodie you're wearing, so maybe you'll have some of those available for sale at some point.
Oh yeah. I want to get some of them made up. It's kind of cool. It's glow in the dark. So
nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. My buddy made it for me, and he didn't tell me about it. And I called him and I was like, dude, that thing glows in the dark. And he said, well, it fits you. There you go. So
That's pretty sweet.
yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, everybody, that was Justin Maples, and make sure you go over to Facebook and check out the Kayak Night Tournament Series. So we're gonna be doing some night tournaments this year between Kansas and Missouri, and this is your guy right here. So if you do have any questions, make sure you look him up on Facebook. It'll just be under the group page there. The I guess it's a group page, right? The Kayak Night Tournament Series.
Yes.
So
yep.
I'll be fishing them. If you guys are in the area and you guys want a caravan over to some of these events, I mean, we can make a big, group deal out of it and do some camping and stuff. We can have some fun with this.
Yeah, like I said, come to that first one, and we're gonna feed everybody, and we're just gonna have a party out of it. We're gonna have fun, and if you don't like it, it's not for everybody. So I mean, if you don't like it, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. But I think a lot of you guys that we fish with are gonna love it. So
yeah, I do too. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in and telling us about what you got going on, and I think I'm gonna sign off for the night.
Oh yeah, I'm good to go. I'm ready to go to bed. Thanks for having me, John.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
Yep. See you, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. There you have it. Justin Maples Kayak Night Tournament Series. I know I'm excited about fishing these events. Like I say, the first time I've ever done it in a kayak, at least, was with him out at El Dorado, and we weren't on the fish or anything like that, but it was a pretty cool experience. I think it was late May, I believe, and it was just beautiful weather, and it was a pretty cool deal. So I definitely encourage you guys all to check that out. See if you can swing it on your schedule. I know with the subtraction of some of the club events this year, so I think there will be more time. So I think that with us combining all of the clubs and having one big tournament series is going to free up a lot of people's schedules. I know some of the individual clubs are going to still be hosting events, but there's going to be less of them for sure. So your guys' schedule should be freed up a little bit with this new club, especially if you were trying to fish multiple series. Like some of the Southeast guys were fishing Air Capital, and so some of those guys are going to have more time on their hands, and I think that the time would be well spent fishing some of these night tournaments around here. So anyways, guys, I just want to thank Justin Maples for coming on. He's a good friend of mine, and definitely going to be out there. Would love to have you guys join us. I'm going to sign off. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have not checked out any of our other videos, we've done some videos here recently. Did one on some Humminbird Helix electronics. We've got, several podcasts out there. This is number 35. So we've got plenty of podcasts for you guys to check out. I really could use some more, subscribers and some more views and stuff like that. But, so yeah, if you guys haven't checked out all the content we have to offer, go check it out. You might enjoy it. And again, just appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to sign off here, and we'll see you on the next one.